So yesterday we discussed the definition of what is a data model that is used to represent the conceptual schema of the database. After that, we discussed what is an object-oriented data model and what are the different elements of an object-oriented data model. And after that, we discussed what is relational data model. Basically, we skipped most of its portion as it has already been discussed. An ER diagram and its different symbols that we use to represent the entities and the attributes, connectivity, cardinality, generalization, and specialization. Now, the topic that we were discussing in the last lecture was network data model. So let us do it again. So network data model can be studied, you can say, in parallel to entity relationship model because most of the things are similar. So one, we have an entity in the entity relationship model. The similar concept is called records in the network data model. So an entity can be represented in the form of a record in the network database. Second thing is relations. Relations or associations can be represented with the help of links in the network data model. So we have two concepts. One is called the records and the second one is called the links. A record in a network model is just like an entity, whereas a record can also have multiple attributes, just like an entity in the entity relation model. A link represents the association. Association is also known as relation. Okay. So in case of network data model, there is only and only the binary relation, whereas in case of entity relation model, it can be binary, ternary, or an array. Next is how to represent these records. For example, if you have a record named customer, which is also known as an entity in a ER model, has the following three attributes. Similarly, we have a record named account, which has two attributes. Okay, and this is how we represent the links, and this is how we represent the records. So like in the yesterday's lecture, I clearly told you that this is a record and this is also a record and this is a link. So this is a link. So this record is basically dealing with the customer information and this is dealing with the account information. So this is how we can represent a record and a link in case of our network model, and all the entries or the attributes within a record, they are shown in a single row. Okay, so let's move further. Data structure diagram. Data structure diagram is similar to the entity relationship ER, sorry, not the entity relationship model, but ER diagram as shown in here. So we have already discussed in the past few lectures what are the different symbols that we use to represent the ER diagram. Similarly, for a data structure diagram, the symbols used are boxes and the lines. So what does the boxes represent? The boxes represent the records, that is the entity, and the lines represent the links, that is the associations or the relations. Now let us consider an example. This is an example of an ER diagram. So what is this? This is an ER diagram wherein customer and account, they both are the entities and a depositor is the relationship between the two entities. Now this relationship is basically a many to many relationship, that means N to N, because one customer can have multiple accounts and one account can be held by multiple customers. So connectivity is many to many, the relationship is depositor, and there are two entities. Now this is not an example of network model, but it is an example of ER diagram. So how does a data structure diagram looks like? So how does a data structure diagram looks like? This is an example of the same. So on the left hand side and the right hand side, what you see is two records. Like I said already, that the records in the data structure diagram are shown in a single row. Now, to represent the relationship, first of all, there is a line that is used to represent the link, and then the name of the you can say link or the relationship is just simply written under the line. So what does it show? It shows that the record customer and the record account are linked to each other, and the name of the link is called the depositor. I hope this is clear. Not much of a difference, but obviously there is a way with which we conceptualize the thing are different. Now, how do we represent the connectivity? Connectivity means whether it is one to many, many to one, or many to many. No arrows are used to represent the many to many link or relation. अगर आपका many to many relationship है तो हम लोग उसके साथ कोई भी arrow को use नहीं करते हैं. For example, if I go back to this particular data structure diagram, you can see that in the link, ये जो आपका लाइन ड्रॉ किया गया है लिंक के लिए, इसकी किसी भी साइड पर एरो नहीं है. इसकी किसी भी साइड पर एरो ना होने से इट इज वेरी क्लियर दैट इट इज अ मैनी टू मैनी रिलेशनशिप. So I hope this is very clear. If you are not giving any arrow to the line of the link, that means it is a many to many relationship. Now, how to represent one to many relationship? But in case you want to represent the one to many relationship, then the link depositor would have an arrow pointing towards the customer record. Now this is representing the one to many relationship. So which line is representing the one to many relationship? As you can see, this is representing the one to many relationship as the arrow is pointing towards the customer record. Okay, and in case you want to represent one to one, many to many में क्या था? There is no arrow, but in case there is arrow towards both the sides, this means that it is a one to one relationship. These are the basic things that you need to remember. And like I said, you can choose any data model that you wish to choose. You can choose the entity relationship, object oriented, or the network model. The ultimate outcome will be the same because they all are used to represent the data. So let's move further. Now, if you are given an relationship model, how can we convert that into a network model? Now have a look at this particular ER diagram. I hope it is very clear. Can anyone please type in the chat window what is the meaning of access date in this particular ER diagram database? So let us see what are the different types of integrity constraints that we have. So first of all, what is an integrity constraint? It is the set of rules. It is used to maintain the quality of the information, and quality, consistency, and integrity. So what are the integrity constraints? Basically done when we try to make any changes into the database. So what are the changes? Like we are trying to insert a record or we are trying to update a record. Okay, so what are integrity constraints? Thus they guard against the accidental damage to the database. गलती से आप कोई एंट्री कर रहे हैं और वो आप गलत एंट्री कर रहे हैं, तो उसको लिमिट करने के लिए we use the integrity constraints. Now, how many types of integrity constraints are there? There are 4 types of integrity constraints. One is the domain constraint. Domain means check. आपको मैंने एक कॉन्स्ट्रेंट कराया था जिसे हम चेक कॉन्स्ट्रेंट बोलते हैं कि आप जो भी वैल्यू एंटर करेंगे दैट वैल्यू शुड बी अ लीगल वैल्यू. Entity integrity constraint is related to the entity that we are talking about. Referential is related to the primary foreign key relationship. What are the constraints there? And the key constraint refers to the primary key that for which we cannot have a certain kind of you can say relaxations, like you cannot leave an entry null or you cannot have a duplicate entry. So all these will be there. So we are going to discuss these one by one with the help of an example. First of all, domain constraint, like I said, it is related to the legality of the values that we can enter for a particular attribute. Domain constraint can be defined as the definition of a valid set of values. आप कौन कौन सी वैल्यूज एक एट्रीब्यूट को दे सकते हैं, उसके सेट को हम लोग डोमेन कंस्ट्रेंट बोलते हैं. The data type of the domain includes string, character, many other things. The value of the attribute must be available in the corresponding domain. Now here is an example of the same. So we have an attribute age. This is a student entity and there is an attribute named age. Accidentally, while entering the values, the user entered the age of Morgan as A, which is not a valid entry because the age can only be integer in nature. So this means that an A is a false entry and it is going to you can say raise an error which says that you are violating the domain integrity. It is as easy as you can see. You have not done anything, you are not supposed to do anything. The SQL will take care of itself and it will raise an alarm that this is not a valid entry. So what type of constraint this is? This is called a domain constraint. The next is entity integrity constraint. Entity integrity constraint states that primary key value cannot be null. Entity integrity क्यों बोलते हैं? Because every record has to be uniquely identified. Now every record can be uniquely identified with the help of a primary key. And if the primary key is null, that obviously means you do not have any way of how to identify that particular record. So if I go by this example, as you can see on the screen, the entry number 4, for entry number 4, there is no employee ID. And if there is no employee ID, how will I be able to uniquely identify this record? For other records, I can uniquely identify them with the help of employee ID 123, 142 and 164. अगर मुझे जैक्सन की एंट्री को यूनिकली आइडेंटिफाई करना है तो मैं कैसे करूंगा, क्योंकि उसका एम्प्लॉय आईडी ही नहीं दिया है. तो आप बोलेंगे कि भाई एम्प्लॉय नेम जैक्सन से भी तो पता चल सकता है, लेकिन we can have multiple entries for Jackson which will make it confusing. But if I assign a ID here, then there will be no problem, as I can identify that this particular Jackson has an employee ID of 174. So what is an entity constraint? Entity constraint means please do not leave any you can say primary key attribute as null, because then I will not be able to uniquely identify the records in an attribute, records in an entity, sorry. Next is referential integrity constraints. Like I said, referential integrity refers to the integrity constraint between the primary and the foreign key, between two tables. तो referential integrity क्या है? दो tables के बीच में यूज होती है. If a foreign key in table 1 refers to the primary key of table 2, then every value in the foreign key in table 1 must be null or be available in the table 2. इसका मैं आपको एक एग्जांपल नीचे बताऊंगा या तो एवरी वैल्यू इन द फॉरेन की ऑफ टेबल 1 नल हो जाए, या वो अवेलेबल होना जरूरी है इनटू द टेबल 2। अब यहां पर ध्यान से देखिए, हमारे पास दो टेबल्स अवेलेबल हैं। आई रिक्वेस्ट द अटेंशन ऑफ एवरीवन बिकॉज रेफरेंशियल इंटीग्रिटी इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। अब ये है आपका टेबल 2, ठीक है। इसमें आपका प्राइमरी की क्या है, प्राइमरी की इज डी नंबर। तो डी नंबर ना तो आपका नल हो सकता है, ना ही आपका डुप्लीकेट हो सकता है, तो वो एंश्योर्ड है। अब ये है आपका सेकंड टेबल जिसमें डी नंबर इज द फॉरेन की, ठीक है। अब ध्यान से देखिए आपने कि जब मैं डी नंबर की एंट्री कर रहा हूं तो मैंने एक 18 नंबर की एंट्री की है। तो ये तो डोमेन को भी स्पेसिफाई करती है और एंटिटी को भी करती है, लेकिन ये रेफरेंशियल इंटीग्रिटी को जस्टिफाई नहीं करती है। जस्टिफाई क्यों नहीं करती है भाई? क्योंकि अगर आपकी प्राइमरी की के अंदर ही 18 एग्जिस्ट नहीं करता है तो आपने किस 18 के लिए फॉरेन की टेबल के अंदर एंट्री की? गलत। अगर जॉन की कोई एंट्री करनी है तो सबसे पहले जॉन की एंट्री आपको टेबल 2 में करनी पड़ेगी, देन ओनली जॉन कैन बी एडेड इन द टेबल नंबर 1। okay, so this is violation of the referential integrity, मीन्स प्राइमरी की में एक एंट्री एग्जिस्ट नहीं करती है या आईडी एग्जिस्ट नहीं करती है और आपने उसको फॉरेन की टेबल में डाल दिया। सिमिलरली, थोड़ा ध्यान दीजिए, सिमिलरली अगर मैं इस एंट्री को डिलीट करना चाहता हूं, इफ आई वांट टू डिलीट दिस एंट्री, तो क्या मैं कर सकता हूं? द आंसर इज नो। अगर मैं इसको डिलीट करूंगा तो फिर से रेफरेंशियल इंटीग्रिटी वायलेशन हो जाएगा, बिकॉज इसको डिलीट करने के बाद जो आपका टेबल नंबर 1 है उसमें 13 की एंट्री रहेगी और टेबल नंबर 2 में 13 की एंट्री रिमूव हो जाएगी। तो इसका सोल्यूशन क्या है? बिफोर रिमूविंग द एंट्री ऑफ 13 इन टेबल नंबर 2 यू हैव टू रिमूव दिस एंट्री। पहले आप इसको रिमूव करेंगे, फिर आप नीचे वाली एंट्री को रिमूव करेंगे, then it will not be a violation of the referential integrity clause. So that is it. Three of the constraints that we have discussed so far. The last one is a very basic key constraint. Now again, just like a null, the keys are basically used to identify an entity within its entity set uniquely. ओके अगर मैंने आईडी को प्राइमरी की माना है, if the id is considered to be the primary key, then every value in this primary key should be unique. But here is a problem. You have already assigned an id 1002 to Leonardo, and then it cannot be assigned to Morgan. This is invalid. Why? Because it is violating the unique constraint of the key integrity. So what is the key integrity? Key integrity means you cannot have duplicate entries for the primary key attribute, because then again it will violate the constraint that every attribute can be uniquely identified by a key attribute. So with this we come to the end of the lecture today and the end of our first module.